It is a disaster of untold proportions. An earthquake in Nepal today was so powerful it was felt across South Asia. The quake measured 7.8 in magnitude, and it was shallow, making it far more destructive. So far, authorities say more than 1,100 people have been killed, but that number is sure to rise. The epicenter was in the densely populated Kathmandu Valley, but damage and death is also being reported in India, Tibet, and Bangladesh. And it triggered deadly avalanches on Mount Everest. More on that in a moment, but we begin in what's left of Nepal's capital. Stephen D'Souza reports.
In the immediate aftermath, it was a frantic scene, as buildings that stood for centuries were reduced to rubble.
It was extremely violent, a lot of shaking. We could see dust coming up from the hills around Kathmandu, and we could hear people screaming on the street outside.
The force of the quake was captured by the security camera. Trees and buildings shaking violently, as if being hit by hurricane-force winds. The 9-story Darara Tower, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, had been standing since 1832. Now, no more. It was shattered, trapping dozens underneath. History was razed throughout the core of Kathmandu. Ancient temples became little more than piles of bricks. Across the city, rescuers using shovels, steel bars, even their bare hands, did what they could to search for survivors. Those who did escape found themselves in hospitals overwhelmed by the injured, or facing a night sleeping outdoors.
Many of the houses and many of the buildings here are, I'm not sure how safe they are. If there's some more aftershocks, some of these very unstable ones will collapse even further, and that will make our work all the more a challenge.
This is a disaster many saw coming. Nepal's last major quake was in 1934. It killed 8,000 people, and a similar quake was predicted to happen once every 75 years. With aging and poorly constructed buildings, aid groups were preparing, knowing the impact would be devastating.
We've got thousands of aid items pre-positioned around the city for if people need them. We've got an emergency blood bank that will be ready to go into action.
Still, this is a country in desperate need of help. Nepal's government has declared a state of emergency. Neighboring India responded immediately, sending aid and a disaster response force. Other countries, including Canada, have also pledged support.
This is a terrible tragedy in Nepal, and our thoughts and prayers go out to the people of Nepal. We're getting all the information now, but it sounds like an unspeakable tragedy, and Canada will do everything possible to assist the people of Nepal.
The help can't come soon enough. A UN official estimates 40% of the country is affected. But with so much of it remote and difficult to reach, it could be days before the full extent of the quake's impact is known. Stephen D'Souza, CBC News, New York.